mass issues. Nobody who is sincere can say that the NRM has ever overlooked or has never identified.
What happens if my dad starts Tai Chi tomorrow?
How old is your father?
He is 56.
And then Tandikwa. We then added NADS, Operation Wealth Creation, Emyoga, the Youth Fund, the Women Fund, Universal Secondary Education, etc. Targeting what? Targeting poverty and free education for the children of the poor. However, just like the Jews did not believe that Jesus was the Messiah, some groups are always not bothering to understand or use these solutions. Those who listened are doing very well. You need examples? Here are some. These are Rashida Ogutambala, Apio of Lira, of the Lira area, Ogira of Abim.
Amanya gange yenze Namulu Rashida, omutuuze w'ekyalo Kasaka, District Butambala, Gombe Town Council. Nze omu ku baasookera ddala okuganyulwa mu ssente za PDM mu sako yaffe baali bagiyita Kasaka Enterprise Group Gotleyalingi. Kakati ssente nazifuna ku ssimu, message yajja nga nfunye 1 million. Kati neesanyuka nnyo ne ŋŋamba yirya ddala bino. Ne nkubira ku chairman wa PDM. Chairman n'aŋŋamba bya ddala nze abawadde ssente. Ne nziruka ku Centenary Bank ne nziggyako ne nfuna 99,400. Kakati ne nkomawo ewaka ne nsooka ne nkola research weewali embuzi ennungi. Ne bandagirirayo ekyalo bakiyita Amabanda, kiri mu Kibibi Town Council. Ne ŋŋenda ne ngula embuzi 3, embuzi 3 nazigula emitwalo 25,25, gye mitwalo 75. Ne ngulako n'ennume. Ennume yali ntoototo kuba nalaba nga nja kugyetaaga mu maaso eyo. Ennume ne ngigula emitwalo 15, ne nsigazaawo emitwalo 9,14. Ne nsooka ne nkubako ekiyumba ekiri temporary. Kakati bwe mmala okikubako ekiri temporary ne mbeera n'embuzi nezirunda. Katonda n'ayamba embuzi ne zaazaala abaana 2. Kakati bwe zaazaala abaana 2 n'empeza embuzi 10. Kati olw'okuba nti embuzi zaali ziyaze nga nina obwetaavu bw'ekiyumba, ne ntuulako embuzi 2. Nazitunda emitwalo 40 ne nzimbako ekiyumba kino kye mulaba mwe zibeera kati. Kaakati zino era nga bwe muziraba zino zonna embuzi 3 ziri mawako. Kati nsuubira ate ofunkulizinga ennamba esinga ate ku zino. Kaakati mu mbuzi muno njigyamu maniwa n'atuyambako nze n'omwami wange ne tuteeka mu mmwanyi. Emmwanyi ne zinyirira era kati sizoni eno tubazizza nnyo emmwanyi. Ssente ne zituyambako ku school fees z'abaana. Twatandikawo n'olusuku we luli awo era nze n'omwami wange. Ng'era maniwa tumujja mu mbuzi ne tuteeka mu bitooke byaffe era ebitooke birungi nnyo. Tulina kati emmere esobola otumala n'abaana baffe. N'akamwanyi nako twakateekamu nani wakakyukako era school fees z'abaana tezikyatumenya nnyo era ssebo taata tuli basiimu nnyo tuli basiimu ddala tweyanziza nnyo tweyanza eri.
Anya Pilvich.
Happy birthday. You are finally 16 years of age. It is your time to stroll into a NERA office and get your first national ID. Whether you
Town Council in Lira District.
Hagam Shen PDM. Yari Ariel Adek.
She got the money for PDM in 2023.
La Habong when to me appear a bear and
Nine-
a bank.
970,000 and then 30,000 remained in the bank.
At the Binupur, Cartiel Kadinuagi,
She planted maize.
a willow, Nuagi Sackets, a para beach,
She bought maize 15 sackets,
well met to me appear a deck, we are
30,000 each sacket.
at a killer poor for American a deck could do poor acres a deck,
She used it, actually she planted it in 3 acres of land.
poor to me, Pierre a beach, Manala has yellow.
Preparing the garden cost her 150 for the 3 acres.
A daughter to me appear a beach,
Weeding cost her 50,000.
a care to me appear and when.
Then spraying cost her 40,000.
At the tune of the koi quan you kill a pashu.
Time for harvest came.
At you carshel Kirijo, my pashu, Kirijama Ruma.
She used the local, the family members and then the neighbors.
What a will cut deck, match to me appear.
Then she bought lunch, food for the people for the family that is which cost her 20,000.
Transported to me appear a beach.
And transporting it from the garden to home cost her 50,000.
After being a bit, when you are no question at Oroconia.
She came and then she removed it from the cup.
You are going to need to run appear and when a beach.
It gave her 45 sacks.
At the chat of appear and when no.
She sold 40 bags
At the no million of York, a la bor.
and she got 2,800,000.
Got match to Muka.
That was the first season. That is her first plantation.
At the work a poco. 1 million a shell, a carrot down Mepu.
Out of the 2.8, she decided to keep 1 million aside for farming again.
1 million a shell, a will of Roma pa.
She used 1 million for buying sheep, 10 of them.
La boro, a child of Caribbean.
Then she used 800,000 for school fees.
No, Tegi Kikano.
That is how he spent her first money.
Rio Pierre Wangwen,
In 2024,
a poor Nuagi.
she planted maize again.
A meadow eka Sacheli Comadec.
She added 1 hectare on the 3 to make 4 acres.
A te poor da kitanen a poor creature for carrot to all a shell.
Then she used it cost her. The total cost was the same as the first one.
A te quanya da te loco poshu.
Then got 50. She divided them sacks.
Quanyo, million a real habero.
Out of the money she got, she removed 2.7.
I will get a plot.
She replaced 2.7 million and she used it to buy. They topped the remaining balance and help them to take back the children to school.
Atido kare chiel kedi Roma piera
ships.
amedo atia gwoko numir be piera ria wiye eno kene yigi obedo any ario to chato
It was supposed to be more than 20.
obedo any ario to chato
It was supposed to be more than 20, but others got abortion, and then some were also not doing when she showed two, which were not doing well.
achar no kon gi pe yota ber de chat laha chele no si laha chele no
They,
ke
they,
la
they were not very healthy, so 300,000.
mono ber mita po PDM kare chiel kedi tichere dushu mita po gamente me Uganda kuna kobni apo wu me chohoro chunymon dan yakina chenta me PDM Allah kwa mona polo mio tino da cha winya ber.
She once again want to thank you.
I am Mr. Korea Dick Ogira.
When will KCB dine Chicapush?
And I used 800,000 for buying 10 goats. And the goats are there. They have multiplied. They are now 16. Part of the money of PDM I used for buying cassava stems. Through that money, I managed to plant 2 acres of cassava. They are now doing well. The first acre I intend to harvest next year in January. And for the mangoes you are seeing, I started harvesting last year in 2023. The first harvest, I got 6 million. That was in June. Then second harvest in September, November, not September, November, I got another 6 million. So last year, from these mangoes, I got 12 million shillings. I've been selling to the people around has booked this mango. They want me to take these mangoes tomorrow, 2025, to the factory. Actually, I've been selling locally. I've been selling 1 at 500 shillings, 2 1,000. And people are buying. These mangoes are very good. The mangoes trees you are seeing here are giving me money, a lot of money. And I want to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Kaguta Museveni, for coming up with the idea of Operation Wealth Creation in the country. This is money. I am not going to suffer. My children will not suffer because of this wealth. I call it wealth now. I always invest. I don't invest in mango. I invest money, not mangoes. So I want to thank our president so much. And next year, if all goes well, I expect to get 18 million first harvest. And then second harvest, I also expect to get 18 million next year, 2025. So I expect to get 36 million shillings. And this money I will use for paying fees for my children. At the moment, I sleep in grass-thatched house because children at school, the money I get, I use for paying fees. So if all goes well, I will use part of the money for constructing a nice house for my family and even paying fees for my children. And I want to request the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, to continue teaching people, to continue mobilizing people to do this kind of activity I've done here. This is Karamoja. You may think we are now in Karamoja and you can see the mangoes.
These are for the simple birth and jobs creation. These are Joseph Ijara of Serere, Karero Bugomba, Nyakano Burenga Rumba, Nyakano Burenga Ru, Basango of Kamuli, etc., etc. Basango of Kamuli, etc., etc.
Got a vet. My highest produces 36 liters. My highest produces 36 liters per day.
Kulunda okw'ekibalo okw'ente ez'amata. Lwakuba nti ebintu ebimu tetubiwa budde oba n'okubiwuliriza oba olumu ne tugamba mbu alimba ayisaawo bibye. Naye kati kambabuulire amazima. Bw'obanga ogenda olunda ente ey'amata kyova dairy animal or dairy cow, ente y'amata olina omanya bino eyina liita mmeka. Kubanga ente eno erya nga bwe tulaba mu nkoko, mu mbizzi, mu mwanyi, n'ente eno erya. Buli bw'erya ng'olina kifaananyi kya nte y'amata nga si nte y'amata, automatically ogenda kugwa. So omuluzi yandibadde afuna ente waakiri emuwa liita 25 okudda waggulu. Ne bw'onoogiriisa byonna byonna by'enolya bw'olya olukyamu nga terimenti kuwa liita 25 tejja zikuwa oba 3. So ekyo ekibalo kikulu nnyo olulyo.
And where we are here is my home, and it's my farm. The biggest landlord in this village of Rwengaju is having 7 acres. People are this farm and this home is seated on 1.25 acre. It is surveyed land, and 1 acre of land here, where we are here, is costing 80 million Uganda for economic activities. Number 1, we are in zero grazing of dairy cows. Number 2, we are in poultry, majorly for layer birds. Number 3, we are in feed processing for livestock. Number 4, manure production. With the poultry, we have 8,500 chicken, and they are in a chick stage, grower, and layer. Those which are laying are giving us per tray, which gives us 1,440,000, and the cost of production is 1,140,000, which gives us a net balance of 300,000 per day as profit. With the feed pressing plant, every day we are processing 1,000 kilos or 1 ton of feeds. We are selling these feeds at 1,850 per kilo, and the cost of production is 1,700. So on every kilo we are making 150 shillings times 1,000 kilo. That is 150,000 shillings per day as net balance of profit from the feeds processing plant. For the dairy zero grazing section, we have got 8 cows. Out of these, 6 are mothers now.
The 6 mothers are giving us 120 liters of milk every day. We are selling our liter of milk at 1,000 shillings, farm gate price, and which gives us 110,000 shillings per day. And the cost of feeding them is 50,000 shillings per day. That leaves us with a balance of 60,000 shillings per day as net profit. These are 8 cows. The 2 cows are heifers, but the beauty of it is these cows gives us, the mothers gives us, every cow gives a heifer or gives birth to a heifer every year. So with the 4th component is the waste, production of waste. We're generating a lot of waste from the poultry and the cows. After extracting the biogas, we are using the gas for cooking. After extracting that, we use the manure. First, the immediate neighbors are taking this manure. We're not selling this manure to the immediate neighbors. Those who have got banana plantations, we give them. We have connected a channel to them. But the balance of manure in excess of what they take, we sell 2 lorries per month, and each lorry is 300,000, and that comes with 600,000. So when we deduct the cost of ferrying and collection is 50,000, we remain with 550,000 per month after giving the neighbors. Milk is not going up every day. It has been staggered for a long time. So what we did, I said, let's add value to this milk. So behind there, you have seen at the farm we have planted strawberries. These are fresh strawberries which get ripe. We process them, we freeze them, we blend them into our milk, and we work on the yogurt. So we are producing yogurt here with fresh strawberries, and the taste is very, very good. And this milk, this yogurt, every 1 liter goes for 5,000. So instead of selling our milk at 1,000 on farm, we are looking at selling it at 5,000. After adding value, putting their strawberries, moreover fresh strawberries, not these chemicals you get. We are employing permanent 10 workers and then temporary 5 workers. In other words, we are able to sustain the families of 10 workers, of 10 people here. These are young men, you have seen them around. And also the lives of 5 temporary workers. So 15 people are employed by this farm, which is on 1.25 acres. We are selling our milk to the bread bakery here. There is a bread factory in town. We are selling our milk to some restaurants in town. We are selling our eggs to the bread bakery. We are selling our eggs to the supermarkets in town. We are selling our eggs to all these Rolex guys, the Chapats, the Midala people along. They come and take the eggs from here. We are providing market to the farmers who grow maize, because every season this farm is using 800 bags of 100 kilos of maize. We don't have land to grow that maize. We buy it from the farmers. So we also provide business to the farmers to buy maize. What you have seen these cows consuming, most of them we are not growing, we are buying. We are buying the maize gardens to process silos. We are buying the strong napier. They sell to us. We buy and process into silage, but also give it as fresh. So we provide market for the farmers. We also provide market to the communities around with our products.
Fellow citizens, the children of Uganda are our future. Is the infant in your care registered with NERA? Does your child have a NIN? Registering all children with NERA right from birth is your patriotic duty. The NIN establishes their identity as a Ugandan, safeguards their rights in this nation, and cements their future and heritage. Do not miss this opportunity to register your child as a citizen of Uganda. Visit the nearest NERA registration center today.
ng'okulunda yayogera kulunda embidi okulunda enkoko byonna byonna yabyogerako. Nze naapikinga mu kyokulunda enkoko n'atandika efaamu mu 2007 n'enkoko 5. Sawa dino wendogerera ku faamu kuno kize mabega ntambwire. Pulezidenti yaida yankyalira mu 2010 nga ndina enkoko 5,000 yasanuka ino. Sawa dino tutambwire tulina enkoko emitwalo 10 tufulumya amagi etule 2,000 buli lunaku. Etule 2,000 divaamu miliyoni 2 buli lunaku. Omwezi diba miliyoni 600. Omwaka tuba tuli mu biliyoni ze 600 n'ekitundu etuba tukolaki kuyingiza. So tuwulirisa omulamwa gwa president okuva ku kiseera ekyo twakati katukigiireko. President abaire musanufu ino ku bintu byenkoze era nga buli kaseera nkyekingaku. Wendogera kati tulina abakozi 300 betukozesa wano kufaamu tuwezaawo 10. Aye business daife yeditambulira kubanga amagi twagaigulirawo outlets ningi mu Uganda. So yona eri abakozi baife wogaita omugaita betukozesa tuweza abakozi 300. So tulikubiriza abantu abandi kubanga ife twataawo omulamu ogw'okusomesa abantu okuboneka nti bava mu bwavu boona. So tulikubiriza abantu mwide tusobole okwega tweyongere okuboneka nti tukyusa ku busoga ni Uganda. Nze ndi musanufu okuboneka nti twatandika n'enkoko 5 ate saawa dino nga tuli wano. Twatandika ne plot ya futi 5 ku 10 nga saawa dino tusobola okuweza 27 ate nga diri ku n'ebyapa. So nze ndibakuba nti tunaatwala omulamu ogwa President Museveni ensi edda kukyuka, abantu baidda kukola, abantu mwidda kuba bulungi nga buli muntu ayingiza ku ssente mu nsawo. Bino ebintu byangu byakukola. Ababikola boogera olulimi lw'omwogera olusoga ate nga babikolera wano ku itaka lyaiwe. So nze ndikoba nti tweyunge ku mulamu gwa president ensi edda kukyuka tulobe kulowooza nti ebintu bino tibisoboka aye bisoboka. President ajja okwogera ekintu ng'akiboine era ife otuwulirisa ebigambo byayogera tukoze emirimu gino wabona nga tukyusa kuki kubulamu. So nze nkoba nti mutucontactinge ndi mu campaign muno president muwa obululu kubanga president alina vision eyokyusa abantu ate nze nabona president ayenda okutola abantu mu bwavu alina obulumi obw'okuboneka nti abantu be bali mu bwavu aye ayenda okukyusa abantu mu bwavu. Bino byonna byonna byakoze bya PDM naki ayenda kutola abantu mu bwavu. So bana tumweyungeku tusobole okukola ensi eno ekyuke. Mwebale ino, ndi Basangwa Johnson, wano ku Jakapote Farm e Kamuli.
There are millions of them. When I fly over the cattle corridor and see the nice, well-fenced, bush-cleared farms of the dairy and beef cattle in the previous Irungu wilderness of that zone of our country, I fly over the Masaka-Raka Isembabwe area with the coffee gardens in maybe 60% of the homes. I fly over Karangara with the palm trees for oil. I fly over the Teso area with the citrus gardens, over Bundubujo and Mukono areas with the cocoa and coffee gardens, over the Bushenyi Sinjuru areas with the banana gardens, over the Zombo areas with the Arabic coffee, over the Bujus areas with Arabic coffee, etc., etc. You realize that our efforts have not been in vain, and anybody who downplays these achievements is an enemy of Uganda. This is even before you talk about the huge sugarcane plantations in Busoga and Bunyoro, the palm oil plantations in Maruzi, Lango, the sugarcane plantations in the Ruweru and Nakasiki areas, or the Kayunga areas. Have you seen the magnificent tea estates in the Toro, Ankora, and Kigezi areas? With the tea, there is the temporary problem of low prices. However, the people in the tea sector have assured me that the price is only affected by the failure to use fertilizers and bad picking methods. All this is just in the commercial agricultural sector. How about manufacturing and services? Have you heard that Uganda has now got more than 50,000 factories, employing over 800,000 people? The services sector has created 6 million jobs, and the hotels now have 150,000 hotel beds. The commercial agricultural sector is now employing 3.8 million people. The IC sector is employing 2.3 million people. These figures have been given to me recently by finance. There were others which had been given, but they say these are the correct ones. Therefore, the issue of wealth and jobs has solutions for those willing to listen. The issue of free education started well in 1997, and it worked well for some years. The number of children, a total of 20 million children, got free education for primary and secondary schools. Then the local elite came in and started extracting money from the poor families for commercialized education. That has led to the children dropping out of school. You can check district by district the completion rate.
Hello everyone. Thank you for following up on our weekly factory tour. During our session, we have received many positive feedback from the clients. Some even ask us to do lecture. Let's look forward to that.
population, unlike my hubs that can only be boarding because of distances. The whole education system will now emphasize the issue of skills in yoga. The pre-colonial Uganda was of communities of emyoga, abalisa, cattle keepers, abahingi, cultivators, abahensi, blacksmith, abatanagi, bow and arrow makers, abanogozi, the clay users, abaremi, the shoemakers, abakomaji, the backcloth makers, abajengi, the surgeons, abafumu, the healers, ababunji, the bone setters, etc., etc. Yes, there were administrators, abami, chiefs, but there were few. Not the colonial and neo-colonial distortion, when the non-wealth creators are in hundreds of thousands, while the wealth creators are not as numerous as they need to be. It is therefore correct that the education system goes back to the strategy of modernized emyoga. Part of the health strategy, although partially implemented, has worked very well. This is the strategy of prevention through immunization, hygiene, good lifestyle, nutrition, safe water, etc. Although it is only immunization and safe water that have really been worked on, it has improved the average life expectancy from 43 years to 68 years. However, there is the problem of curative that is still outstanding. That problem is tied up with the problem of tafayo, not bothering with the important things. It is tied up with the issue of corruption. I happen to have been here in the times of the British, the time of independence, and after. In all that time, I saw the corruption of the public servants. That is the chiefs, the veterinary personnel, the medical personnel, the school. When we were in the bush, I told the NRM leadership that we could not trust the public servants to serve our people honestly. I therefore proposed that we add our own structures elected by the people to supervise the interests of the people. You have that power to elect the LC1s, LC2s, LC3s, LC5s, members of parliament, councillors, etc. These are the ones to report corruption and other misconduct in the area, especially the ones being paid by the state. Those are the LC3 chairperson, the member of parliament, and the LC5 chairperson and other officials. What has happened is corruption, land grabbing, etc., happening in Congo or Uganda. If it is happening in a locality in Uganda, where there is a galaxy of all those elected and paid leaders, why do they not expose the problem? Yes, the government has another galaxy of actors, accountants, auditors, etc. We shall continue trying to bring them to Jesus Christ and Muhammad for salvation, to save them from corruption, and also axe the incorrigible ones. However, when my strategy of the LC system works, it will be a game changer. Recently, near Mpigi town, I engaged some Bazukul there that were talking about corruption. I told them to elect serious leaders, serious people that guard their interests, the interests of the people. That was why the LC system was designed. Finally, on the issue of political competition and law and order, politics is not about the livelihood of leaders. Solve the problem of jobs for some people. It is about the destiny of peoples. That destiny is guided by principles that arise from the analysis and the determination of how the respective societies can be safe and prosperous. In the case of Uganda, in the 1960s, our student movement disagreed with the sectarian politics of that time of religion and tribe. We eventually distilled our principles of love, Uganda, patriotism. Why? It is because you need it for your prosperity. If you are a wealth creator and not a parasite, you need Uganda as a market for your products. Banyankole do not buy my milk, they do not buy my beef or buy my bananas because they are producing similar products. It is the people of Kampala that buy my products. I also buy the products from other parts of Uganda. Sugar from Busoga, Buganda, and Bunyoro, vegetable oil from Karangara, textiles from Buganda, etc. The second principle is that we should love Africa, Pan-Africanism. Why? It is because the internal market of Uganda is not enough. However, we cannot benefit from these two markets unless we undergo socio-economic transformation by migrating from Okore Chida Kyonka to working for Echida, the stomach, and Ensao, the pocket, with the Chibaro, Chura, Aymar, Otita, the calculation for profit. Then the fourth principle is democracy. It is people that believe in these principles, which is the only way to prosperity, that I associate with politically. It is unprincipled for one to fight somebody that fights these principles. Instead, you should discuss among those who believe in these principles to determine who should represent us here or there according to the suitability. The moment you see political positions as a means of living, you then become a problem for your country. Since 1971, we left well-paying jobs to fight Idi Amin. Why? It is because we were sure that he would block our vision of patriotism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy. Previously, we had been massaging your body because there was a possibility that you could move with us on Pan-Africanism. For example, the East African Federation. Therefore, the political actors should stop the pseudo-politics of me, because is not only barren, but very destructive for countries. On the issue of law and order, you have been seeing the indiscipline and anarchic conduct of some of the opposition, guided by the wrong politics in their heads and prompted by parasitic foreigners that back them. They make many mistakes. These include transporting audiences to create the image of big crowds at the venues. Those arrested following Mr. Kyagulanyi at You then have the Kyagulanyi schemes of causing chaos in the country on behalf of the foreigners that fund them and back them. Mr. Kyagulanyi and his evil foreigners that back him fail to understand that Uganda is a land of spiritual and political matters. The spiritual matters like Karol Rwanga, etc., the political matters like Rutamaguzi are very good examples for the present generations. Many Ugandans remember Tajja Kurayira. You remember Gen Z plan for the 4th of July 2024 for the riots like those of Kenya, etc. Do you remember those? They were rejected by the people. Have you noticed the number of NUP flag bearers for parliament that are pulling out? Criminal opposition must also stop intimidating Ugandans. You have no right to intimidate a Ugandan. Therefore, Ugandans, come out and vote. Nobody would intimidate you endlessly. The future of Uganda is bright. Our first oil will come out next year. Regarding the police methods, I practice of caning lawbreakers. Some police forces in the world do it using batons. I, however, reject it. It must stop.